So, Sean, welcome to the Razor's Edge.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Vio-Lence are finally back, and it seems like it's been too long. So, there were rumours for years about a reformation. So, what was the driver for you personally getting Vio-Lence back together?
It was kind of after my surgery and kind of reflecting on all the people that helped out before that all happened. Phil from that golf tournament, and then the Killian on Command show, and all the people involved in it. And all I could think of after my surgery, as I was laying there in the hospital, is how do I repay these people? And the only way I could really think of is, well, I could do a show. I don't know what that looks like, because at the time Phil was still in Machine Head, and but I figured I could drum up some musicians, and we could do a show and play Vio-Lence songs with me heading the band, and then Phil, he departed from Machine Head, and it was about, my surgery was March 26th of 2018.
Yeah.
And we played April 13th and 14th of 2019. So pretty much a year apart.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, well, let's do a show. I sent him a text, said, hey, let's do a show. And, we kind of got together and talked about it, what that would be like. And he was more concerned about my health than anything. But,
yeah,
it started out with just a couple of shows to repay the people that, helped me out.
Yeah. And you mentioned your health. How are you now?
I'm great. Yeah, I'm doing good. Like anyone else, I'd like to lose a little weight around my belly, but other than that, I'm in good shape. The problem that caused my liver cirrhosis is a genetic issue, and it's called alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. That alpha-1 antitrypsin is a protein that cleans your liver cells and cleans your lung cells of toxins, and then your body disposes of them. So the people that have COPD, they've got the same problem.
Yeah.
And so it's more prevalent there than it is as far as impacting the liver. But so I got a little bit of that too. And so, my doctors, I did like a test, where you breathe until you're like blue in the face. And my lung capacity was around 75%, they said.
Yeah.
So that's that's really the most impactful thing for me after, being ill like that.
Yeah. And does that affect your performance at all, that having that reduced?
No, because I've made adjustments. Like now I have my ear monitor, and so I can really hear myself good. In some clubs you play, you can't hear shit coming out of the monitors in front of you. And so that helps out a lot. So I'm not really pushing it hard. And what's funny is that at the Killian on Command thing, I was really watching the guys try to sing the Vio-Lence songs, and how much they were, if they were able to get through them, because the way I deliver, it's not, I don't get winded. It's like the songs that actually have the most words, like, Kill on Command and some of those songs. It's kind of effortless for me, and that comes with being, better at what I do, and when I did Eternal Nightmare, I used to push hard, and the wind would exit all my lungs, and I'd be like at the end of the rope trying to spit out, a couple more lines.
Yeah.
But now I've got a lot more control of my breathing, because, I'm kind of forced into that. And so if anything, it's forced me to get better.
Excellent. So the current lineup of Vio-Lence includes Christian, formerly of Fear Factory, and Bobby Gustafson of Overkill. So how did you recruit the new guys? What did you do to look for them?
Well, Bobby and Perry, they've been in contact with each other for a long time. They've been buddies forever. So Perry, when we got back together, he was really pushing to get Bobby in the band.
Yeah.
We went with Ray, and then when Phil and I started talking about writing, Phil's whole attitude is, I want that down picking, muted string kind of a guy. Yeah. And so Perry's like, well, okay, let's get Bobby, because, we're buddies. And so that's how Bobby kind of got into the band, and Christian, Phil had a good relationship with Christian over the years, because they toured with Fear Factory, toured with Machine Head. So we got to know him really well. And Christian was always a Vio-Lence fan back in Belgium, and when he was, bebopping around listening to Oppressing the Masses, and being that that outsider kind of kid, because he wasn't like in, he was a Vio-Lence fan. So, and he let everybody know, is what he told me. So, so he's always been a fan, and their relationship, and he was in Venice Beach at the time. So when Dean, he just couldn't make the schedule with his life, and his job and his kid and stuff. So, Christian stepped in, and the best part about these two guys is, it's not whether they can play their instruments, it's how do they fit in the room with the rest of us. And and we really gel well together.
Excellent. So before we talk about your new EP, last year you relaunched the band with a cover of the Dead Kennedys classic California Uber Alice. There was a lot of comments online at the time questioning why come back with a cover and not new material and things like that. So why did you choose that cover rather than coming back with something new?
Well, we didn't want to put anything new out. We just finished writing Flesh from Bone and Screaming Always, and we didn't want to put those out to anybody because it was we kind of obligated to Metal Blade, right? That and so then when Phil was kind of like, well, we should do something, and we had, before the whole COVID shutdown thing, we had a show booked in Oakland at the Metro, and we planned on playing California Uber Alice.
Yeah. And
so it was like, well, we already know the song, let's just do that. And we filmed the video in Phil's bar because it was shut down. There was nobody there. And I think, there was some negative feedback, but come on, people, don't take things so serious. We're just having a good time, Sorry we didn't get you a Vio-Lence song, but you have them now. But that's just us being us.
Yeah.
That's kind of who we are,
Absolutely. Yeah. So so looking forward to the EP, Let the World Burn. It comes out in a couple of weeks. But for you, how long has it been in the making? When did you, Phil, and the guys start writing the material for this EP?
So we did the two reunion shows in Oakland, and then Sacred Reich asked us to close out their tour. So we did the Hollywood and Mesa with them. And it was in Mesa that Phil and I were talking about, well, we should write something new because we can't be playing the old songs forever. And so he was itching to write something, and me too. And then we kind of talked about, okay, so what does that look like? And Phil was kind of like, well, 4 songs, I don't want to commit to some big record. So we went with the 4 songs, and that turned into 5 after we started writing. But it was like shortly after, and then we had the time to write it when the whole COVID thing happened and all of our shows for 2020 were shut down. So most of our practice time was spent on getting ready for shows. So now all we had to do was we had just writing. And so we just really jumped in on it heavy around, it might have been around March of 2020 that we really kind of started digging in deep and getting stuff and writing lyrics and putting songs together. So, but it's something, we had a good, we just enjoyed doing it,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I've been lucky enough to listen to the EP for a week or so now, and it's got that classic thrash sound, but it's also very distinctly Vio-Lence. So you've got to be pleased with the end result of what you produced there.
I'm very pleased. I mean, the songs aren't all the same, so there's a lot of variation between the songs. The lyrics, I mean, that's just me, and for me, it's like I don't really listen to metal except the classics, Bonded by Blood and stuff like that, and Suicidal and all that. But and so I'm never like, oh, well, what's the sound today? I'm like, I really don't care what the sound today is, because when I write, I just write for myself and the band, and so there's really no influence there other than me, And then the fact that Phil and we talked, it's like, this has to be heavy as fuck, because people are gonna really be critical of it if it's not there. If we don't bring that same energy we had in the Eternal Nightmare Oppressing the Masses, then I think people will be disappointed. So we've always, once we started, we had the intent of just destroying and writing uncompromised lyrics and bringing that sound back. I'm not as I don't, when we play live and we do Eternal Nightmare songs, I sound like the record, but on this new recordings, it doesn't sound like as much like that original, Eternal Nightmare sound, but you can definitely tell it's us. Absolutely. And we don't anyone else. And I think that's the part that satisfies us the most.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier you're on Metal Blade now. How big of a support has the label been to you through this recording process and getting the EP out?
So what's funny, we played the Psycho Fest in Vegas, and that's Brian was there, and Phil hooked up with Brian, and they chatted for a while. And it wasn't like we were searching out to have some label competition to sign us. We just wanted to work with someone that we knew was part of our generation and part of our music back in the 80s, the thrash metal. And it was a perfect fit. And then it was just a matter of, well, we just need what we need to record. I mean, we're not out here trying to, bust the bank. So we came to an agreement on what it would take to record, and that's what we did. And right now is when the label's really doing their work, because Heidi and Rick and Tom over there, they really go above and beyond. I mean, Tom does a great job. He's got me doing like 3 interviews a day. It seems like every day. I mean, and it's like there's more days I'm doing interviews than more days that I don't have any interviews. And so that, and Rick does our social media stuff, and he does a great job with it. I can just hook up our booking agent with Rick, and when we book shows and the promoters want some promotion, Rick puts it up on the Vio-Lence pages, and then Heidi, she leads the way, and she's been awesome to work with.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just been a great deal. I mean, honestly, I'm like, I don't know, this is like probably the most attention we've had from a label ever.
Yeah,
where they really are working for you.
Absolutely. Well, they're invested in it.
Yeah, you guys sound great. I love the record. No, it's not that. It's blue collar. It's a blue collar label. They really work hard.
Yeah. And they're invested in it, aren't they? And they want to see a return as well, I guess.
Not only that, but Heidi, I talked to her. She's a big Vio-Lence fan from back in the day. I think she has the original pressing of Eternal Nightmare, and they're just, like I said, they're part of who we are, because they've been there since the beginning. With Brian, and thrash metal is their thing, and they've expanded into this big label that's, I mean, they don't have big they don't have a big Atlantic or someone else as their, they're not a subsidiary to anyone. They're their own label, and for us, that's great. We love that, because it was Atlantic that took Torture Tactics off our record. So we're not fond of big record labels.
So do you notice now, and dealing with Metal Blade, any difference in the industry compared to 30 years ago when you were releasing Eternal Nightmare?
Yeah, well, you don't use a 2-inch tape. When we did a Press in the Masses, Alex Perry-Ellis had an ADAT, and that was high. That was some serious technology then. But we still did a Press in the Masses on the 2-inch tape. The social media thing's cool, because you put something out there on YouTube or whatever, and you get instant response. So that's something that's a lot different. Back in the day, because we're like a love them or hate them kind of a band.
Yeah.
Kind of that cultish kind of a thing. And so if someone writing an article reviewing our record didn't like us and put it out there and lambasted us, it was like there was no one to respond. So that thing just lingered out there all year for everyone to go, oh yeah, I'm not gonna, fuck those guys suck. He said so. Where now it's like you do that and you get instant response. Yeah. The Vio-Lence cult will step up and start attacking. and then dealing with the labels, it's just so much easier with, because now you're emailing everything and you're sending Dropbox stuff, and I love the instant response part the most.
Yeah,
and recording's a lot easier too.
Yeah, and I suppose, especially in the last couple of years when we've not been able to do much, you can do stuff at home, send it to each other, and build demos that way, rather than all being in a room together and doing stuff.
Yeah, well, that Dead Kennedys, that's all recorded and produced by Christian.
Yeah.
So that whole sound, everything he mixed it and mastered it and everything, we recorded that in our rehearsal studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have to be together. You can, like, Phil sent me some music and I got to hook up with Juan over there at Trident Studios and do some demo work, maybe an hour or two, get some lyrics on it. And then I can send that to Christian, and Christian can put bass lines on it, and he could put like a scratch drum track because he is really good at it, that stuff. And then you could send that to Perry just to go, hey, this is the scratch drum track. This is the tempos we're looking for. And so it's kind of cool in that way, because it is hard to go to the studio. And I mean, it is good to go to the studio and write, because you're face to face, because Phil and he'll come in with riffs, and then we'll just try to assemble it into a song. And so, it's good to bounce ideas back and forth, and how you make the changes, and how we go from this to that, and from that to this. And so that's really something that's good. But we don't really need that as much as we did in writing this EP, because now we know each other, and we're good at communicating, but there isn't, I don't know that it would replace face to face, because there's a lot of stuff you get. I mean, I play guitar, but I don't bring my guitar to the studio because I ain't that good, but I can hum a note.
So you've got an EP under your belt now. What's the chance of a full album in the near future? Well,
we'll probably stick to the EP format, because then we can get music out to the fans sooner, So if we did like a 10-song record, you probably wouldn't hear anything till December of 2023 or January 2024. Where if we throw together 4 or 5 songs, we can get it out, get it packaged, get it to the label, get it packaged, and try to get it out to the fans a lot quicker. And it's a digital age, it's not, vinyl collectors love records. Everyone downloads just individual songs and stuff. So
yeah, true.
As long as you're putting music out, I think that's the important part.
Yeah. So moving on to live shows then. Over here in the UK, we were holding out hope last year that you would make Bloodstock, and you were one of the last international bands left on the bill in the end before you had to pull out in the end. So what was the final straw that caused you to cancel?
Well, we would have had to quarantine, and then we had Belgium the next day, and they had 2 different sets of rules. And so we were going to go to Belgium and play the Alcatraz Fest, because at the time we only needed to do a PCR test. And but if we came from the UK to Belgium, that was a whole different story.
Right.
And so, and the only reason why we didn't play Alcatraz is I got the COVID. I couldn't do it, Yeah. I actually got COVID that week of Alcatraz. And so, we had to cancel. It was the Alcatraz one we had to cancel like days before.
Yeah.
But, Vicky worked with us. We held out to the last minute, hoping that, stuff would open up and we wouldn't have to quarantine, but, Boris wouldn't allow it. But it's open now.
We're fully open now. You can come back.
And you got to be celebrating, right? You got to be kicking your heels together.
Yeah. So you're on the bill at Bloodstock this year, and we're all hoping it does actually happen this year. So what can the fans expect from you on the main stage on the Sunday?
You can expect us to play our classics, and then we'll probably throw in 2 or 3 of these new songs, for sure. Probably for sure 3. We'd like to play the whole thing, but you know how it is. It's play all your new music, and then people go, why didn't you play this? Why didn't you play that? Why didn't you play this? Why didn't you play that? I mean, you're limited on time as it is. I think we have 50, I don't quote me on it, but I think we have 50 minutes. I can't remember, which is a good slot time. It's a good amount of time, but you want to use that 50 minutes to try to make it so that everyone leaves happy. But you can't make everyone happy, because I always see, they didn't play Bodies on Bodies, or they didn't play this, or they didn't play that,
Yeah.
When are you going to do Oppressing the Masses? And I even heard, someone was like, and we never play Engulfed by Flames, but someone was like, I wanted to hear you play Engulfed by Flames. And,
Yeah, there's always someone who's not happy in there. So
so we'll try to throw in 3 probably of the new songs.
Okay. So after the Bloodstock appearance, what are the chances of a a full Vio-Lence tour in the UK and Europe in smaller venues?
So, it's like with any festival, you have a commitment to them, and there's like a time period that you can't book anything. But our booking agent over there, he's aware of it. And so he's working on some European stuff for us now for the summer. We're hoping that, because he actually called me the other day. I hadn't heard from him in a while. I was thinking about it. He'd call him, and then he called me saying, hey, some countries are opening up now. We need to start looking at hitting those countries because we're not vaccinated. I mean, I'm not against the vaccine. I just choose not to have it myself. I don't really have a reason for it. I've had the COVID. So anyway, beyond that, it's like, as countries open up, we want to go there and play. And so he actually contacted me. I was kind of surprised. And so, he's working on stuff for us now to get over there. And so the UK, it's like, we have to wait through the time period of when, we're able to come back and, play some club shows. Cause I really want to play some club shows over there.
Yeah.
And Ireland and,
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to seeing you in the summer. I wish you all the best with the release of this EP. I think it's fantastic. I've been listening to it all week. So
thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for spending some time chatting to us this evening.
Oh yeah, it's my pleasure. I really truly appreciate that people even want to talk to us. Because we do this for fun. It's like, I'm not a rock star. I'll never claim to be such a thing. I don't know what that entails even. But I know one thing: I write music to have a good time, and we go play shows to have fun.
Yeah,
and a lot of times you'll see me in the crowd because I'm a fan of music.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's a lot of fans over here waiting to see Vio-Lence, so we can't wait for August when you do come.
Excellent. I can't wait either.
All right, Sean,
it'll be a special day.
Thank you for your time this evening. It's been great.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you keep up to date with future episodes by subscribing to our channels. For more information on this podcast, or for all the latest music news, reviews, interviews and more, head over to our website, www.therazorsedge.rocks.